Good evening. Tonight is February 11th, 2021. This is the monthly teleconference for the ASCA Board of Directors. Judy, and Carla is also present, our executive secretary. So the way we do this, if this is the first time listening to the open session, is that we go item by item on the agenda. You couldn't hear the roll call? Okay, I can do it again. Okay. Present are our executive secretary, Carla, Carol, Denise, Gina, Jan, Jean, Judy, Rick, Warren, and myself, Liz. I hope we get through it this time. So the way we do this is that we go item by item on the agenda. We go around and let each director express their opinions, their comments, or ask questions about whatever the item might be, whatever the topic. And so if there's a motion, then we go ahead and discuss it and vote. So our first item this evening is last month's email business.
I move, this is Jan, I move that we accept last month's motions.
This is Gina. I'll second it.
You meant approve last month's email business. So that's a motion by Jan and
Yes.
Seconded by Gina. Any further discussion? I will call for a vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Our next item is the computer system technology update. Warren?
Hi. Yeah. So, wow, lots going on here. Almost more than I can keep on top of. But I think we're doing great. Liz and I, with Callus support, we did have a conversation with Inventive last week. The intent of the conversation was to determine if they would make a proposal to us that would allow us to move forward with improvements to the system, with a couple very specific caveats that were not included in the prior proposal. And the first one was to make the transition of the database a priority, and in both understandable from our standpoint, and in a way so that we could test that it was complete. When that was done, we would give them specific payment for that specific deliverable. And then the other part was that in general, they would give us specific deliverables from time to time, and we would pay for them as we, the system committee, prove that they are in fact operable. So they were amenable to this, and we have scheduled a meeting, I believe, for the 25th of this month. And at that time, myself, the folks from Inventive, and several core volunteers will be listening in to hear the proposal, ask any questions, comments, and so on. That'll give us time, for I guess the next meeting will be the 11th of March. We'll bring the results of that meeting to the board, and if the proposal is one that we want to accept, we can certainly do that and then move forward. In terms of the system committee, so the committee is a little different maybe than a typical committee. We have the board representative, which is myself. I'm also so-called term the project owner, so I'm taking the responsibility that the checks go out after I say that things are working. Myself, unfortunately, I don't know all the parts of ASCA well enough to know if the things are working. So I'll be relying on our team of volunteers plus folks from the business office. We had 11 people who submitted resumes or emails saying they wanted to be on the committee. And I have at this point contacted 8 of them. I have a couple more this week that I'm going to get in touch with, and just, you know, because of schedules, it's going to take a little bit. 5 of those folks specifically are related to database knowledge, which is great because we'll use them on the front end. And 3 of them that I've contacted are very interested in doing the QA. That would be the testing when we have a feature that in theory is complete. They would be able to test it and say, seems to be working. And we're very, very lucky. We have we do have a pretty good variety so far. You know, an agility person, an obedience person, who really know the details of how titles are earned and how they overlap and how they, you know, are contingent upon. Apparently, it's horribly complex. Probably not a surprise to any of you who have gotten those titles. But it was absolutely a surprise to me when one of our volunteers provided an Excel workbook that had 5 separate tabs just simply to organize one stream of titles in the obedience domain. So yeah, it's complicated, but we have people that know it, and these are people who are willing and able to test it once Inventive says it's up and running. I will say the meeting we had with Inventive last week, there was a fellow there, darn it, I don't think I wrote down his name, but man, he was, I guess his name was James.
Was it James?
Yeah, James. He knows his stuff. He knows ASCA's implementation. He's been working, you know, for Inventive. He's an Inventive employee, but he's been working on us for a while. And yeah, he's pretty incredible. He's a Canadian, so he can't escape. He's under quarantine, so we have a good chance of getting him. But yeah, so I was really the feeling I got after the meeting was that this is going to be the right group for us. These guys are, you know, of course they want to make money, but they're smart and they're dedicated and they want to get it right for us. So I was feeling good about that. I guess the question I have for the board is when we have the meeting, I guess I think it's on the 25th. Let me just double check. Yeah. You know, are there board members who want to sit in and be able to hear the presentation? You know, on the one hand, the more the merrier. On the other hand, we don't want to make it overloaded and cumbersome. So, you know, we can think of that, but it is a really big deal. And if we are going to move forward, I only want to move forward if everyone on the board thinks this is the, you know, and of course it's not perfect, there's a risk, but everybody thinks we're moving in the right direction. So, I am interested to know if there are folks who want to sit on the meeting and maybe folks who want to take a lead in asking some questions. So.
This is Gina. I would like to sit in on the meeting, you know, just listen only.
This is Jan. I would also like to listen in. No questions.
Hey,
I
Warren,
think, you know,
Rick.
yeah, Rick.
Hey, Warren, Rick, I think you ought to just send it out to the entire board when it's going to be. And if somebody's going to have some questions, then maybe they can let you know ahead of time. But I feel like most everybody will be listen only.
That's perfect. You know, Rick, I'm glad you said that, because now we're in the Zoom environment. I mean, we can have as many people as we want listening, and it will only become confusing if everybody wants to talk. So yeah, so let's do that. I'll send out the invite. We have 2 weeks. If in the next 2 weeks you want to become an active participant, just let me know, and I'll make sure Inventive knows there will be people there specifically to ask questions. There will be people there representing a variety of opinions, a variety of interests. They understand all that. if we have questions, we absolutely should ask them. So, like Gina and Jan, you said you just want to watch, but if something comes up, you're board members, it's your responsibility. But knowing your intent is helpful. So yeah, I'll send the invite out to everyone. And if you do feel like you want to be active, or if you have specific questions, let me know ahead of time. But yeah, on the day, if something comes up, don't hesitate.
Thanks, Warren.
Any other questions for Warren?
This is Carol. I don't have any other questions, but I do want to say that I feel a lot more confident with the moving forward with this, in the fact that we get a chance to see the product tested before we pay them, and that we're doing it in pieces, not one whole fell swoop. So I feel a lot better about that than if we were just going to hire on a project and pay for it. So thank you very much for all your work. I am going to try to sit in on that. I will not have questions because I am computer illiterate, but other than that, but thank you for all your hard work on this.
Great, thank you, Carol. And just I'll get ahead of it so it doesn't look like a bait and switch. They did not say they will give us a list of items that we can pay for as we go. They said they would make a proposal based on my requests for that.
Right.
So the wording was, they're smart people. They know what they're doing. They also spent time to tell us that things don't always happen in a nice, discrete, stepwise manner, and that we may find for our own convenience as well as theirs, but also, for pricing, that we want to move forward with things that are a little less structured than do this, pay this, do that, pay that. So that is our intention. They know that's our intention. They're going to come back with a proposal, and we'll see how closely it matches and how comfortable we can be with the, because I think there will be a lack of precision. How comfortable are we with that? And does it seem scatterbrained, in which case, wait a second, or does it seem, okay, this is realistic, we can make it work?
Okay.
Anything else for Warren? Thanks, Warren. I concur with everything that Warren said. I mean, the meeting was extremely positive, and I left with some sense of relief, actually. So hopefully they make a good proposal for us that we can, work with, and we can move forward. So, okay. For computer assistance. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you. Thanks to all.
Okay. So the next item will be the 2021 National Committee. That will be Rick.
Take you guys for a walk.
Thank you, Liz. There's been just a slight personnel change in the 2021 National Committee. We had one individual that has backed out or backed off of the committee, and we have a replacement of Rachel Vest. There will be a slight increase in the budget. Cheryl Lynn, who is leaving the committee, was a local person, so we wasn't going to have to pay a whole lot of lodging for her. But Rachel will be coming in from Georgia, so the budget will increase by $300 and something. And we just wanted to get some input from the board and make sure the board is okay and make a motion to approve adding Rachel Vest to the 2021 National Committee.
Works for me.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Do you want to make the motion, Rick?
I will. So I move to approve Rachel Vest to the 2021 Nationals Committee with a slight increase to the budget of $360+ I'm not sure exactly what.
That. Okay. And that depends on just the airfare flight. Is that right, Rick?
It is. Well, I don't think it's airfare. I think it's motel lodging.
Oh, transportation. Okay. I would second your motion. Denise.
Thank you,
so
Denise.
we have a by Rick, by Denise, to approve Rachel Vess to replace the Chair Lynn for the hospitality chair position, and with the associated increase in the budget of $360. You said, Rick?
Yeah, I believe that's right in the neighborhood. Callum may have that, and I just don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So, any further discussion? All right. I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay,
Thank you.
so the next item, thanks, Rick. The next item is the 2022 Nationals and Finals judges, and this is Gina.
Okay, I'm going to do each of these as a separate motion. They are all seconded by Jean, but just in case anybody has a problem, we can just approve some of it and not approve the others if somebody doesn't like it. I will say the agility finals and the rally finals, we do not have judges yet. The letters were sent out late, so we should hear from Ray by around the 21st of this month, and then the chairs can work on that. So the first discipline I have is the obedience finals judge, and I move to approve Cindy Franks from Tennessee and Elizabeth Chase from Massachusetts, and that's seconded by Jean.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Gina, seconded by Jean, to approve those finals judges. Any further discussion?
That is effective upon board approval, just to be clear.
Any further discussion? Okay, I'm calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Go ahead, Gina.
Okay, I move to approve the following judges for the 2022 Stock Dog Finals, second by Roberts. Preston Kisman from Texas, Rick Harden from North Carolina, and Brad Warren from California. And this too would be effective upon approval.
Okay, we have a motion by Gina, seconded by Jean, to approve the slate of the Stock Dog Finals judges as presented by Gina. Any further discussion? Okay, I'm calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries.
Okay, I move to approve for the 2022 Junior Handling Finals, seconded by Roberts, Judge Leslie Box Nowak from Texas, effective immediately.
What was her name again, Gina? Sorry.
The last name is Noack, Leslie Box Nowak. I guess that's how you say it, Nowak.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a motion by Gina, seconded by Jean, to approve Ms. Nowak as the junior finals judge for 2022. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, the last one that I have is for the confirmation finals judge. It's a little bit different than what I sent to the board earlier. We had a little problem with one of the judges, the California judge, and we declared that she was ineligible. So we just went to they picked somebody else from the list, from the original list. So I move to approve the following judges for the 2022 confirmation finals, seconded by Robert. Be Susan Harris, California, Western Region, Sharon Sparks, Colorado, Central Region, Linda Harden, North Carolina, East Region. And that's effective immediately.
Okay, so we have a motion by Gina, seconded by Jean, to approve the 2022 confirmation finals judges, Ms. Harris, Ms. Harding, and Ms. Sparks. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. You got anything else, Gina?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was it. The other two disciplines we should have by the 21st of the month.
Okay, gotcha. All right, good. So we're done with that one. So now the last item relates to the confirmation crisis judge procedure. First of all, I think we have some motions that we have already discussed via email. I guess I want confirmation from the board that this is what we want to do. So I would like to go around, please. Carol?
Okay, so I do believe that it is time for the board to implement the criteria for the confirmation crisis judges. We've already declared a crisis, and we all are pretty aware that there is one, and it's really affecting the people that are in limited areas, and especially in Europe. And I think that we don't really have a lot of time left to continue down this path of waiting for stuff to happen. So they have to start thinking out if they are even going to be able to have shows, because from what I understand, most of their show season is spring and early summer. So I definitely think that the board should set some criteria and get this moved along. And I know that there was some discussion about having a shorter test. I am totally in favor of that. I read all the questions you proposed. I thought they were excellent, and I'm totally in favor of this.
Thank you, Carol. Denise?
Hi, I would totally support this motion. I agree with Carol that the questions of the shortened version are good. The length of time that it will take that has been greatly shortened is going to be excellent, and I think it will be to the advantage of especially the European clubs to get people right away. And I think that the motion is very amenable to the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Denise. Gina?
Yeah, I agree. I really have nothing further to say other than the board does need to step in and get this taken care of. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Jan?
Is this going to be actually in the rule book?
Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't sure where it was being placed, so that would be my only question. I'm fully in support of this, long overdue, so that affiliates can have programs and keep supporting ASCA. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. Jean?
I am in support of the motion. There's really nothing else to add. Thanks.
Judy?
I too am in support of this. Everyone's pretty much said what we've all been thinking.
All right. Thank you, Judy. Rick?
I'm in support of it. Liz, thank you for all your hard work on this. I think it's time that, the board stepped in and helped our neighbors in the European, Germany, Belgium, especially to support those guys. Those guys are unable to have any type of events due to the travel restrictions. And I feel like that we are doing our best to help our neighbors, and which will in turn help ASCA. So thank you for all your work.
Thanks, Rick. Warren?
Yeah, the confirmation rules and the issues that's not my specialty, but I will say I really have been heartened. I know the committee worked hard to try to make something happen. My parameters were how do we get more than one judge going in less than 2 months? Liz, I've read the motions that you put forward. I think they do exactly that. I think it's reasonable. I think it's appropriate. It will allow some return to normalcy for the folks in Europe. The questions about what's going on in the U.S. and whether or not there are issues, that's a slightly different issue. I think what we're really addressing, the folks from Europe, they addressed us and said, please help, and I think we're helping. So I'm very much in favor of those motions, Liz.
Thanks, Warren. I will say the reason why we have worked on this is because we really need to get some expediency here, and the Europeans have been asking for us to, for the board and for ASCA in general to go ahead and do something that can help them have some events, the Europeans and the Canadians as well. So this is a way to respond to their needs. I would like to ask Carla to go ahead and read at least the major items in the motion. The motion for the actual procedure is a little long, but Carla, could you please, so that the members that are listening can have at least an idea of what we're talking about.
Sure. You want me to read the motion that is in there that says the confirmation crisis judge procedure?
Yeah, at least the main items at the top, which is, well, you can read it all if you want. I'm sorry, Carla.
Oh, sure.
I know it's long.
So I did look, in the best place for this would be Appendix A, the judge requirements, new Chapter 4, confirmation crisis judge requirements. Before applying for confirmation crisis judge status, the following requirements are met. A, must be adult, full member of ASCA in good standing. B, must be at least 26 years of age. C, must have bred 2 ASCA champions of record, or bred 1 ASCA champion of record and handled 1 ASCA champions of record to their title. The applicant must have placed all points in majors on each champion. D, must have served as ring steward at least once or have attended a seminar dedicated to procedures. Alternatively, the applicant can request mentorship from an approved or senior breeder judge or someone who has considerable experience as ring steward. The mentor can choose to conduct the mentorship session via Zoom or any other web conferencing software and can mentor more than one applicant in one session. The session must include the proper ring procedures, etiquette, and handling large entries. E. Must have a thorough knowledge of the ASCA Australian Shepherd breed standard. F. Must have a thorough knowledge of the ASCA-approved confirmation show rules and regulations. G. Must be willing to abide by the ASCA confirmation judge's code of ethics. These are the minimum requirements for applying, and each applicant will be evaluated on an individual basis before acceptance into the program. The applicant may exceed these requirements for their benefit. And then the procedure, I don't know if you want me to read the procedure. It's basically the same. You obtain an application form from the business office or from the website. You return it to the ASCA business office. Upon receipt of the application, the business office verifies that everything's correct and the requirements have been met. Once that's done, they send the applicant a confirmation crisis breeder judge test, either electronically or by mail. The test must be completed and returned to the business office. A score of 100% is required to pass. An applicant may attempt the test 3 times. A failure after the 3rd attempt results in a denial. The modified confirmation crisis breeder judge test is a shortened version of the standard confirmation breeder judge's test, which has been approved by the ASCA Board of Directors. It shall include questions that evaluate the applicant's knowledge of the Australian Shepherd breed standard, ring procedures, show rules, situations likely to be encountered in the performance of crisis confirmation judge duties. Upon passing the test, the board approves or denies the applicant. If approved, the applicant gets notification from the office and then can accept judging assignments for all classes except national specialty and or pre-post shows. Upon approval, the name of the applicant and their information will be published in the ASCA website. A confirmation crisis judge shall not judge the same assignment more than once in any 3-month period for the same affiliate. Crisis confirmation breeder judge procedures will be in effect only when a crisis has been determined by the ASCA Board of Directors and will remain in place until the ASCA Board of Directors officially announces the crisis is over. The procedures will be in effect only in those regions where the government has enacted travel restrictions due to disaster, pandemic, or any other state or national emergency, and where such travel restrictions will impede the hiring of judges for events. A person acting as a confirmation crisis judge will not permanently hold the position of ASCA confirmation judge in any form, nor will they be allowed to use this experience to bypass the existing requirements for becoming an ASCA breeder judge when the crisis is over. They must apply and meet the requirements for becoming a judge as described in Appendix B, Section 1.1 of the Confirmation Rulebook. The experience gathered from judging as a confirmation crisis judge can be listed as an additional experience on the application form. And that was the end
Thank you, Carla.
wording. Yep.
Thanks, Carla. Okay, so that's the motion. Any further discussion?
So this is Carol. I just have one quick question. Someone had suggested that somewhere we have some information about the fact that if they need language assistance or that they clearly understood that they could use the rule book to find the answers. Are we going to put that in somewhere?
I don't think that should be in the rule book. That's my personal opinion, but I think that it's probably some point of information that should be made public and make the membership aware.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if somebody else disagrees and thinks that it should be in the rules, but
I don't think it needs to be in the rules. I just was wondering where we were gonna, if there's like a letter with the packet or something.
Yeah. We can probably make some sort of announcement or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Anyone else?
This is Denise. If we need to do that, this is Denise. If they need to have that, we can, when they send their application in, we could just send a note to them if they need assistance due to a language barrier, that they could contact somebody or another.
Yes, that's probably a good idea then. Anyone else?
Yeah, this is Gina. I was going to suggest a cover letter with the test explaining that. And also this will be effective upon board approval, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, thanks, Gina. Any further discussion? Okay, then I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. So the other related to that first motion is the fact that there is a motion to approve the actual shortened test. And I forget who, I think it was Gina that seconded it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, so that's the next motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Okay, then I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The other item under this issue of the confirmation crisis judges was that there are two European non-regular judges that we are proposing that we allow to immediately be approved as crisis confirmation breeder judges, and so that we can go ahead, they can go ahead and use one of the assignments to complete one of the requirements of to move up from non-regular to provisional. That's because they're already non-regular judges and they have already done all the requirements that are for a regular breeder judge. And so the first one was David Michelson. So that's the next motion on the floor. Any further discussion about this?
I have a question about the motion list. This is
Yes,
Jan.
ma'am.
I don't see it saying in the motion that they can use those requirements, or I'm missing it. So do we need to revise that to make sure it's in the motion? It
was
kind of
under one
implied
and
in that.
Hey, Carla, can you do me a favor and read it? I'm sorry.
The motion is to approve Debbie Michelson from Belgium as a confirmation crisis judge that can judge all confirmation classes. An assignment as a confirmation crisis judge may be used to fulfill one of the requirements to move up to provisional breeder judge status. Second by Dan.
All right, thank you. That's
Okay.
not what I'm seeing in my Dropbox. So
Well,
that's
darn. I often ask Carla to read them.
It's
Thank
in the
you.
Google Drive
Thank you,
under
Carla.
confirmation crisis judge motions.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was
All right.
looking.
Thanks, Carla. Thanks, Jan. All right, so that's the motion on the floor. Any further
I have a
discussion?
question.
Yes,
I have a
Denise.
question. So if they do several during the time frame of the crisis, they are still allowed only one assignment to add to their regular non-crisis judge requirements. Is that true? Just one?
That's the way it's written, yeah.
Right. Okay. That's good. I agree with that. I just wanted to verify. Thank you.
All right. Any further questions, comments, discussion? All right, then I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. So the next motion is the same language, but to approve non-regular breeder judge Mirjan Langen. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Okay, so Chala, we need to make Ray aware of these two motions. Well, of all specifically, these non-regular judges will need to be informed that they are now able to judge under the crisis rules. Was there wasn't any other motion under this item, right? That was it.
Nope, that's it.
All right. So we are done then. This was the last item in the agenda. And so I will ask for oh my God, my mind is not working anymore. To adjourn this meeting.
Oh, I move to adjourn the meeting, Denise.
I'll second, Gina.
Okay, motion by Denise, seconded by Gina to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Thank you so much to all directors for a good meeting. We got things done with things quickly and efficiently, and thank you to all members listening in. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you,
All
Liz.
right. Thank you, Liz.
Good night.